Hi and welcome to my first video. I'm Felix and I will show you 8 simple tips to improve your Docker container security. Tip number 1. Use secure images. This might seem as a low-hanging fruit, but I think it's still very important. Only use official and verified Docker images, because everyone can upload their images to Docker Hub, so it's easy to mix up custom images with the official images. Docker provides you, for this reason, with 3 tags you can use in your image search. The first one is Docker certified images. The second one is verified publisher images, and third one is official images. Especially the first one is good because it makes sure that the container is built with best practices and also is tested even for security. Tip number 2. Change the default user. If you're looking for a tip which you can apply immediately, this tip might be for you. Because when you start writing a Docker file, then you're a root user by default. Which means if someone breaks your application, then the attacker has root privileges. You can either avoid this by writing 2 simple lines in your Docker file, or you modify your Docker run command, or you add something to your Docker Compose YAML. Since we are on this topic, please make also sure that your Docker daemon does not run as root. This helps you to protect your host system. Tip number 3, container hardening. Since your container is probably running a web server or any web application, make sure to apply the same security standards as you would on a normal web server. You can use the same tools as you would on any Linux machine, so you can use AppArmor or SELinux. The good thing is with containers, you can build your secure image once and then just add your application onto the base image. Tip number 4, secrets. When I started with containers, I was a little bit confused. Where should I store my passwords and certificates? I hope you're not uploading them to GitHub in your source code, but you might upload them via SCP on your VM, or you might copy them and paste them manually. But with containers, you need a different scale because you spin it up and maybe turn it down. So what I use most are Kubernetes secrets, also in combination with some cloud solution like Key Vault or Secrets Manager on AWS. This helps you to upload your secrets and store them securely. And you can also update them on a regular basis. Tip number 5, updates. I know what you think. That's probably a very boring topic, but it's super important. Because you don't want your application to get hacked just because you were too lazy to rebuild your Docker image. So make sure to always include the latest secure image. I don't want you to use the latest tag always, not at all, because you might want a specific version, but please check on Docker Hub from time to time if something changed or if there is a new update, and see what changed. Tip number 6, monitoring. I personally think it's a tough one because you can invest a lot of time and you can use a lot of tools to monitor your application. And especially with small applications and side projects, you never know if something's gonna really happen. Some weeks ago, I had an incident because I had a blog running and I did not monitor it because I thought, it's just a blog, who needs monitoring anyways? So I actually had an issue with that, and somebody called me out on Twitter and said, hey, your application or your blog is not running properly, what's going on there? And then I had to fix it, and it was embarrassing for me, so just do monitoring. Good starting points are Grafana and Prometheus. Also check out Elastic Stack. And you can also use your cloud tools, which are provided by AWS, for example. Tip number 7, resource limiting. I think this is the 101 of container orchestration. Resource limiting means that you can set boundaries for your application so it doesn't use too much CPU or too much memory. What a lot of people might not know, that you can set your resource limit with Docker and Docker Compose too. Tip number 8, secure your host system. This might seem obvious, but once the system is live, people tend to forget about this. So make sure your configuration is right, your system is up to date, your firewall is configured. Most importantly, take your time and keep your system clean. Because once your host system is gone, your containers are gone too. So that's quite important. Okay, that's it for today. This was my first video, so maybe like and subscribe. And if you got another tip or you just want to add something, please write it down below in the comments. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.